Now I'm going to talk to you about what is the reasoning by which we apply the Bagua map by the main door instead of using the directions like the compass schools of Feng Shui. Feng Shui is considered one of the 5 branches of traditional Chinese medicine. There is a correspondence even in the organs of the body on how we use this Bagua map. The 9 steps to Feng Shui system is a derivation of form school Feng Shui. Form school Feng Shui is the oldest version of Feng Shui. This would be a bird's eye view of the property. This would be the property, and what's desirable to have behind the property is a hill or a mountain that is sort of rounded. And on the one side of the property, on the right hand side, when you're looking at the property from across the river or across the street, what you want to have is a range of hills that are undulating and taller than what you have on the other side. In front of the property, you want a body of water, and across from that, you want low valleys, which resemble the shape of the phoenix is an imaginary bird, but you can, if you can visualize a great eagle flying without batting the wings, just sort of gliding. That is sort of the shape that you would want for the valleys in front of the property. Now, if you look at my previous videos, you'll see that there's also an application of this for urban side. So you have the turtle, the dragon, the tiger, and the red phoenix. And now I'm going to show you how this go on the body. The head would be the representation of the turtle. On the right arm, you would have the tiger, and on the left arm, you would have the dragon. And the red phoenix would be located where your base chakra is, which has a red color. If you remember ever watching the series Kung Fu starring David Carradine, where when he sort of graduates as a Shaolin monk, he goes to a place where there's a cauldron that has a hot carbon inside, and he picks it up with his arms so that he gets a scar with the shape of a dragon on the left forearm and a scar with the shape of a tiger on the right forearm. And this has very important symbology. The dragon represents the forces of heaven, and the tiger represents the forces of earth. Now, to be well balanced, you want the forces of heaven to be stronger than the forces of earth, to be greater, because they're considered benevolent. Whereas if you think about a tiger, it's the strength of instinct and survival, the predator quality of the tiger. You need to have that in life, but it shouldn't be dominant. The energy of the benevolent dragon is what should be dominant. Now, there's a very interesting correlation between these two celestial animals and the organs. The dragon is connected to the liver and gallbladder, especially to the liver, and the tiger is connected to the lung and the intestines, the large intestines, but especially to the lungs. And it is said that the 3 benevolent spirits reside on the liver, and that 7 warrior spirits reside in the lungs. So this is related to the fight and flight mechanism. There's a part of the nervous system that has to do with digesting and healing and thought, and that would be represented by the 3 benevolent spirits that reside in the liver, whereas the lungs are more related to the fight or flight mechanism. When you get very agitated, you need more oxygen. And it is said that when something happens to make the 3 benevolent spirits exit the liver, then the 7 warrior spirits take over. And that is sort of like the story of the Hulk. When he feels threatened, this outrageous strength becomes active. That is the fight or flight mechanism. You see here, this is on the outside. The head would be the turtle, the dragon and the tiger would be the arms, and the base of the body, you could say the pelvis, would be represented by the red phoenix. Now, when you go back to I'm going to place a Bagua map here because the plot is somewhat rectangular. I'm going to extend this Bagua map, and then I'm going to erase it so you can see the houses there. Then I'm going to put it back. Now, the energies on the outside they need to be balanced in the inside. And for them to be balanced on the inside, they need to have the opposite in the inside. So the black turtle over here at the back needs to be balanced by fire on the inside. The red phoenix here at the front of the property, on the other hand, needs to be balanced by water energy, which water would be the energy that's intrinsic in the color black of the turtle. So on the side of the tiger, you need to have the wood element, which is represented by the color green, and on the inside, on the dragon side, you need to have some metal as represented by the color white. So there are 5 elements in traditional Chinese philosophy and feng shui and traditional Chinese medicine, and these are earth, which is in the center, represented by the color yellow. You have water, which is lined up with the entrance, and the entrance, because it's the biggest opening, or should be the biggest opening, it also is related to yin, and water is yin. At the back, you want the protection of the fire element. On the left hand side, you want the wood element, and on the right hand side, you want the metal element. So these also have names. This line here at the back, this red line is called the fire line. There's a water line. And in my feng shui system, we represent water either by using navy blue or black, but traditionally the color to use was black. The reason for that is that the deeper you go in water, the darker it gets. So this would be the wood line. And then on the other side, we are going to have the metal line. The color of metal is white. So we're going to turn this white in color. Now, of the life areas at the back of the home, fame, reputation, and social life works with fire. So it gives the characteristic to this whole end, to this whole back wall of the home or business building is called the fire line. The career, life, mission, and individuality is the life area that works with the water element, and it also gives the characteristic to the whole wall at the front of the home or business. 2 life areas on the left side, health, family, and community, and wealth, prosperity, and self-worth, they both work with the wood element, so they give this line the name of wood line. And on this side, children, creativity, and fun, and helpful people, spiritual life, and travel are the ones that give the name. They work with the metal element, so they give the name to this line, which is called the metal line. And now we're going to see how that is transferred to the human body. So now I have transferred the same graphic of the fire lines and the Bagua to the body of the man. So you can see this time I have extended the original square of the Bagua map to make a rectangle so I can show you. So you can see here the fire line is connected to the fame, reputation, and social life area, which is connected to the heart. The career, life, mission, and individuality area is connected to the kidneys and the bladder, which are around here. You know, the heart is closer to here, and the bladder and the kidneys are closer to this area. Now, the wood line represents the liver and the gallbladder, which are on this side, and the metal line represents the lungs and the large intestine. Now, the lungs, of course, you know, they're on both sides of the body. But the large intestine, the exit of the large intestine is actually on this area. You know, this is where the colon comes down for the exit. I'm going to hide that layer so that you can see what I'm talking about. So here is the heart. You know, it's connected to the life area related to fame, reputation, and social life, which works with the fire element and the fire line. Here's the wood line, where the gallbladder and the liver, which are ruled by the wood element, are. The water line is down here, very close to the bladder and the kidneys, which work with the water element, and the metal line, which is connected to the lungs and the large intestine. And in the center, if we're going to put this back here, in the center is the stomach. And of course, the stomach is a little bit to the left, but it's close to the center of the torso if you compare it from top to bottom. So that is how there's a representation of the celestial animals that you see here and feng shui. There's also a representation or a correspondence of that in the human body, which I think is really fascinating information. And so I hope that you like this and that you share it with your friends. This is very important information to share. I think everybody in the world should be taught this basic information about how the energies of the 5 elements work in the human body. So this is the reason why in my system we place the Bagua map on the floor plan based on where the wall that contains the main entrance is, instead of doing it by the directions like the compass schools of feng shui do. That is the reasoning for that, is that there is a correspondence with the human body, and Asian thought is all integrated and connected because the same principles of universal law that apply to the health of the home also apply to the health of the human body. By the way, I took this image from the Wikipedia. This image of the man and the torso is placed on the public domain, so I used this image to share with you.